Okay, guys, why don't we start with some of the questions from whatever we did yesterday, which was on case and when. Any questions from this topic or any other topic so far, anybody?
Oh, Pratik, everything is good.
Okay.
On a lighter note, I would say, rather, whenever I try writing a query, it doesn't work on the first go or second go, right? I know practice requires, and we are just beginners, right? So, can you, as you are experienced and worked on lots of query, do you have a kind of a step by step? Of course, is there's a problem, then solution is there, and I know we can make a table, rough table in somewhere. But then suppose in general, I was asking, the queries, that's how we can judge what to use where and how.
So I have also given a quick reference guide.
Yeah. I have seen this. Yes. So it's the time to go back to this, right?
And you see what happens is, why I say is that, you should, the moment you look at a business question, you should try and frame an ideal output, like a tabular output that you are looking for, because that gives you an idea as to from which table you want to get the data from and what all columns you want to display. If there is any calculation that you want to do or anything like that. So all those things become much clearer if you have an ideal output in your mind. And then the only thing that remains is, see, I know, this quick reference guide has a lot of things, but the more important things are things like this, the things that we use within a select statement, like for grouping, having in, inner joins, like, order by. These are the more important things to kind of refer to, Sanjeev.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's about practice also, but feel free to Google. See, the idea is, after this program or whatever, 20 classes or 18 classes or 1 hour, I don't expect you to, become like a super expert who would remember everything. Expert in the sense, all right, I don't think anybody would not be able to understand any solution that they may find on Google. You should be able to read and understand now after this class. That's very, very important. Right?
Yeah.
You Google, you should be able to find answer. That is more important than anything else. Frankly, if I was not coaching as well, Sanjay, I may not remember all the commands the way probably I remember. Because, when you're working, there are few set of things we do more often than many other things.
Right.
Only 20% of things that we end up using more than 80% of time here.
Yeah.
So, and also what happens is, let's say, frankly speaking, I have never worked on MySQL database. I have always worked on SQL Server database and Oracle databases.
Okay.
I get one, but I still know MySQL commands very well because I coach on all the platforms. I get what I'm trying to say. So when you start working, if your underlying database management system is SQL Server, your inclination would be to remember those commands which are more valid naturally on SQL Server, right?
All right.
I don't give a lot of importance to whether you remember the command per se or not. As long as you understand that if you get stuck, how to do problem solving in your code.
Okay. So yeah, for us, it's you right now. Then it will be Google, I guess.
Yeah. And there is nothing wrong in it. There will be Google, and absolutely nothing wrong in it.
All right. Thank you. I have another question from the questions you have given yesterday.
On text functions or on grouping ones?
The group one, first 3 questions.
This one?
Yes. Okay. Now, the second question, where we need to, find out the list of max and min test score of class 1. Because what we have class 1, A, B, C, right?
So
In the
you like
data.
1%, no? Where class like 1%.
Yeah. And
Say it
Pratik,
again.
you wanted just M test class or like test, or actually took both of them, M test plus pieces? Okay.
Mathematics test score is fine.
Say it
Okay.
again, Pratik. I couldn't hear it. Your voice was
So there are
breaking.
2 test score, right? Maths and physics test score in this table.
Yeah.
So you
No,
need to, that's
okay. No. I just want to know what like class 1 A and what was the answer you gave?
class like 1%.
Acha. Okay. Fine.
Meaning starting with 1, after 1
Mhm. Right. All right.
And
I'll try.
Pratik, this question 13, is it related to something else? Because I was actually unable to do it. 13th.
You remember order by, Ankita?
Not 12, 13, the one that's below that.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This we will do. We will do it.
Oh, okay.
We'll do it. We'll do it. This requires, I mean, this can be done using either one of the 2 concepts. One concept is to use something called as a row number function. And the second thing is to use something called as co-related subqueries. Both are interesting concepts that we will discuss.
Okay.
Got it. No problem. We'll have a discussion on this. Okay. Yesterday, I gave you text function scripts, reference scripts to review. Right, everybody?
Yes, Pratik.
So what we will do is, I am not going to cover this text functions right now, like in today's class, because they're not very difficult. They're very important. However, they're easy to understand. So I do expect you to go through it if you have not had the chance to go through it over the weekend as well. In the last class, we'll find some time, and we will discuss it in the last class, or probably the class after today's class. We'll find some time and we will discuss this. But I am going to give you some questions on text functions anyway, assuming that you would have read through this and you would have gone through it. It's not a big deal, I mean, these are not big deal. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, because I want to actually fry a bigger fish today, which is to talk about something called as window functions. Okay, which is very, very essential for analyzing the data and creating some more properties on the data sets that we have. So that's what we will want to do today. Something called as window functions. And for window functions, I want to use a database. Okay, let me check which database. So I'm going to use the school database. Now, what do the window functions do for us, and why are they so important? You see, what window function does is that it divides the data into windows or into smaller sets, which we call it as windows. Smaller sets, which we call it as windows. And then it helps us to compute something for the data which is in that particular smaller set. Okay. One important thing that we want to understand is that The window functions are different from grouping functions like count, average, sum, all of that. They do not summarize the data. Okay, just to give you an example, if you look at this question number 13 here, it says assign a roll number to each student after sorting their name alphabetically within each class. So just to understand this, let's say if I were to do this, let's say there is a name here called as Abhishek, right? Ankita. Ashish, and let's say Sanjeev, right? So this seems like that the name column is sorted. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we want to assign the roll number. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, right? So here, there were two things that we did. First, we sorted the data by the name column in ascending, alphabetically increasing order, A is smaller than Z always. And then we added a property. We added a feature, a property, something to the data based on this ordering. In this case, we added just like a row number, a serial number kind of a thing, which we call it as roll number, right? But I could have done a lot more things. Say, for example, say here, there is their M-test score given, right? And I want to find the nth highest score, or let's say, sorry, my bad. I want to find their continuous rank. Based on the M-test score. So let's say this person's score is 95, this person's score is 92, this person's score is 98, this person's score is 99, and so forth. So what will be their rank, guys? Who will be rank 1?
Sanjeet.
99.
This guy, this guy,
Ashish.
this guy. Isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is their roll number based on alphabetical sorting of name. But this is their rank. So this is another property that we have added. A new feature that we have added. Are you guys getting my point? Right? Now, imagine we have another column here called as class. And all these folks are from the same class. All of them. And let's say now there are a few people from 1B. Now, tell me, I'm sorry. Tell me, what will be their roll number?
At least should be start from 1, 2, 3.
5, 6, 7.
Will it be 5, 6, 7, or will it be 1, 2, 3?
1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3
1,
because
2,
1,
class
2,
is
3.
different.
1 to 3 as class is different.
Absolutely, right? Because their roll number would be created for their own class, right? After sorting the data alphabetically within the class of students, right?
Right.
And how about their rank?
That can be same because it is for a common exam.
No, that is also within class. If I remember in my college, I mean in my school, that's how it used to be. That our rank used to be calculated based on our section.
Yes,
Okay?
yes,
But
it is there.
again, it's really up to us, right? Whether we want to find the rank across the entire school, or we want to find the rank within a particular section. In this case, we are assuming that it will be within a particular section. Is it making sense, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, Pratik.
So this becomes your window 1. What is window 1? All class A students. And this is your window 2, or all class B students, 1B students. Got it? Window, by the way, is also called as partition in here. Just to differentiate this from a word called as group. We don't want to use the word group. Why are we not trying to use the word group here? Because we have already used the word group to summarize the data. Summarize the data meaning if I wanted to find what is the average 1A score or how many people are there in 1A, then I would have used grouping to summarize the data. But here we are not summarizing the data. Why are we not summarizing the data? Because we are showing each and every row in this case. You understand? We are showing each and every row of 1A, each and every row of 1B, all the rows of the table. I get a point. But in summarization, we were not showing individual rows, we summarize the data. Right? So this is also can be called as a partition. Each window is called as a partition or a window. Got it?
Yes.
Yes, Pratik.
Couple of things are important to understand in this entire process. The first step was we wanted to understand whether there is a partition or not. So partition is required or not. Let's say if I had not given the partition, then that means all these students would have been one entire window, isn't it? If I had not partitioned them in class, then everybody is considered to be part of one entire window or one entire partition. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if that was the case, then our roll number would have been different and our rank would have been different as well. Then it would have considered
Yes.
all students for finding the roll number and to find the rank, continuous rank. So whether we require partitioning or not, it really depends upon us, right? Depends upon what kind of analysis we are doing. Second, very important thing is we have ordered the data by some of the other logic. In this case, to find the roll number, we ordered the data by what? To
Class.
find the roll number, we ordered the data
Alphabet
Alphabet
wise.
by name, isn't it? But in order to find the rank, continuous rank, we ordered the data by
Test.
That's
Test
it.
scores.
test in descending order. This was increasing ascending order, and this is descending
descending
order.
order.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yes.
So these two things are important. And then the third important thing is the function that we want to use. That means the operation that we want to do. For finding the row number, the operation was a very simple operation, which is to find the row number kind of a thing, like to find the serial number. But to find the continuous rank, we have to use a function, or we'll have to use a function that would help us find the continuous rank. Does it make sense, everybody?
Yes, Pratik.
Yes.
Yeah. So these three things are required for using window functions. And the application of window function is that it helps us to add properties. Is it making sense?
And
Yeah,
Pratik,
yes.
what kind of the functions?
Sorry?
what kind of functions मतलब यहाँ पे हम कौन सा functions use कर रहे हैं?
We will see that. But this entire set of functions are called as categorized as window functions. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pratik, what do you mean by property in here? I mean, adding property.
Property here is like a, some extra feature that we are adding to each student, right?
Okay.
Is it extra field we are adding here?
I mean, okay, in the output, of course, we are adding an extra field, an expression, you can also say, but of course, it's not going to be saved in the table unless you really update and insert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here the
Okay.
roll number and the continuous rank is the property.
Is a property in the sense it's an extra feature, extra, extra information about each and every row in this table.
Okay, so we are not actually inserting any column here.
Yeah, we not. I mean, we have seen that we have created those calculated columns before as well, right? I mean, where
Yeah.
I mean, we have done it multiple times, and then we end up creating an alias name to those.
Yeah.
We end up alias names as well to them.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. So Windows here is a synonym for partition. Is that so? We are using.
Absolutely. Meaning, we are partitioning the data on the basis of some columns, and after partitioning the data, we are adding some properties, or we are adding some calculations, you can say.
Right.
I will save this into a.
So Pratik, how would we judge on seeing a data that how to partition it? I mean, here we have class, right? But then in any other data, what is the criteria do you think that will play a role to judge how can we partition or create a window?
We will discuss it right now. Yeah. So we'll discuss some of these window functions, some of the important window functions. For example, rank, dense rank. We'll talk about the difference between rank, dense rank as well, and row number. Okay. So these are three functions that we will discuss quickly here right now. All window functions have the same syntax, which is the name of the window function, and then we will write something called as over, and then under brackets we will write whether we want to partition the data by a particular column or not partition the data, and then we would write order by, because if you remember, we discussed that we need three things. We need to divide the we need to divide the data into partitions. So that's where partition comes into the picture. And of course, we need to order the data as well before we compute something. And then we will use one of the compute functions, which we call as the window functions. Okay. So let's see it. So I'm going to use the school DB. Okay. I've defaulted it. Now, imagine you want to find the, let's do this only. I mean, let's simulate this scenario only, that we want to find the class-wise roll number based on the names sorted in ascending order. Yeah. Now look at this. Full name, comma, the function that we want to use here to assign the row number is called as row number. Row number, open and closing parenthesis, over, open and closing parenthesis, partition. Partition by which column?
Class.
Partition by which column, guys?
Partition by
Class.
class, yeah.
Correct? Because we want to assign the roll number to each student of every class, right? So we'll have to partition the data by class. Again, if you have ideal output in your mind, then it becomes very easy, right? Because we want to create windows or partitions by class, as we have seen here, right? Partition the data by class and order the data by
Name.
full name. In which order?
Name spell is
Ascending order.
Pratik, name spelling is we have to correct full name.
Clear, everybody? As, let's call it as, what should we call it as?
Serial number, roll number.
Look at this. Class, these are all 1A students. Keep an eye on their roll number also. 1A students, their roll number. And this is where 1A changes to 1B. Hence the roll number resets to 1. Clear, guys? Clear, everybody?
Yes, Pratik.
Pratik, here row number is will be I mean this syntax gives us the roll number.
This
Row
syntax-
number,
this-
the row number over.
This
Yeah.
syntax assigns a number to each row here.
All right. Okay.
You want to call it a serial number, you want to call it as ID, you want to call it as whatever.
Okay.
Is order by optional?
You tell me, Gunjan, if I make it optional, what would happen?
It would allot the numbers by the FIFO method.
Which is not right, Gunjan? In
Okay.
fact, it will assign the same number to everybody. Because it doesn't know on what mechanism. For example, if I remove this, Manoj, what happened? You want to annotate? So let's say if I remove this order by thing, then everybody, okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, you were right. It'll be based on whatever the data, however the data was present in the original table.
Right.
I get the point. Does it make sense?
So the ordering of the name is not descending, but it's assigning as per
As the
sorting.
data existed, or as the data was entered.
Okay. And when you do the order by, it will ascend or descend the alphabetically.
See, look at
Okay,
the
got it.
execution sequence. It will assign the row number, or it will find the row number
Over the partition.
after partitioning the data by class. Then
Order the full name.
within
Okay.
each class, ordering the data by full name. Then only this function will be applied.
Okay.
Is it making sense?
Yes, Pratik.
Yes. Pratik, what is row number? Row number function?
So what row number function is doing is that it is assigning one sequential number after doing this logic, Naveen.
Okay, understood.
That means it will first partition the data by class. That means it will bring all the folks from a particular class together, right?
Yeah.
And then it will order the data by full name. That means somebody whose name is starting with A will come first, right? Then it will assign the row number, which is to assign a sequential number.
Okay. Understood.
Understood?
Pratik, this
Yes.
row number can be used elsewhere also, or just in this syntax? I mean, suppose we have a data with serial number, okay, and we order it alphabetically by using a query. There the serial number which was actually there would come as per the alphabetical order.
Let's see this. No, say for example, here we have ID, full name. Okay.
Okay.
ID is mostly sequential here.
Yeah.
Now, this is not in any particular order. Maybe this is how the data was entered in this particular order, right, Sanjay?
Yes.
Now, if you write a row number here, right, over, now, either you want to assign the row number based on the class or based on some, particular column. Let's say
over name. Yeah, maybe.
Partition by class, right? So then what would happen is within, and let's say here we are not ordering it, Sanjeev. See this, yeah?
Okay.
So it has assigned on the basis of how the data was original. So you can see that it will be almost like original. The only difference is that, if there was some other data in between which were deleted later or something like that. So otherwise is there, this is within the same class. And when the class changes, so you can see the class has changed.
Okay. If I don't have to partition it, just put a row number.
That's
so
fine.
how would I do that?
Let's say I do this, right?
Okay.
No partitioning, nothing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Okay. The syntax for row number is row number brackets over. Over is important, right? Here.
You can't use without over.
Okay. Okay. That's the syntax.
Because this is a window function designed to partition the data, then order the data, then apply the window function. Here, since we have not partitioned the data, that means the entire table is considered to be one partition. Since we have not ordered, so it is taking the original order. Sandeep.
Right, got it.
Can there be a multiple over function? I mean, multiple windows.
तभी तो होगा ना, when you partition it, it creates multiple windows, right?
Partition by class and rank, or and rank, or any, or and the person with the name A, all the person with the name A.
I'm not able to understand. I mean, what are you trying to? So think about ideal output that you're looking for, table output that you're looking for.
So basically, I want to see, I want to create a window for every person that has name starting with A, and name starting with B, and name starting with C.
So they will come, no? When you partition it by name, it'll be like that.
Okay. Okay.
I get what, but since one particular name, there is only, so if I go to Rupa, now Rupa has 1, 2, 3. Because there are 3 Rupas.
Yes. And the syntax is row number over partition by class, which is the window that we want to partition, and then order by. Okay.
Now let's see this. Suppose if I just order the data by full name, I don't give any partition, then what would happen? What do you guys think? What will happen?
Order by full name.
What do you think will happen?
It will not create any window and give sequence according to the name, full name.
Sorting by the sending order name and assign the roll number accordingly.
Okay.
So it will just sort out in ascending order by the name in the same row. It will not like in one window it will work.
Actually, it will just allot the roll numbers to respective name. The roll number sequence won't be in sequence. Since we are not ordering the full name, rather we are ordering the full name over roll number. There's a difference.
And Pratik, here order by full name. We need not to write ascending or descending, anything.
If you don't write anything, by default it takes ASC.
Okay.
So what would happen is that entire student table will be considered as one partition, and it won't really matter, whether there is any difference in the class or any other property.
Or as it is, the data was?
No, as it is, the data wasn't like this, because here we are applying the row number after ordering it.
Yeah.
Because original data was not necessarily ordered by full name.
And what about the duplicate name?
What are the duplicate names? Row number, because what happens with duplicate name as well is, then let's say there are 3 rupas. Then it goes to it takes into the account which rupa was entered the first in the table. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Which rupa got entered the first in the table?
11.
Haji?
11.
No. Yeah. I mean this one.
7. Okay. Yes.
Pratik, how is the ranking different from when we didn't put any order by or partition in the parentheses? How the ranking is different from this order by ordering?
Ranking is different or what?
In the previous query, you ran the query of row by over and the parenthesis was blank.
Remember, Gunjan, row number is not finding the rank. It's not finding the rank. It's just applying a serial number.
Serial number, right?
Yeah.
So this time, what it is doing differently than the previous one?
Previous one was that, see, there are 4 flavors we have discussed with them. The first flavor that we had discussed was partition by class and order by full name. Right, Gunjan?
Yes.
So let's call this as flavor 1, comma, row number over where I partition the data by class but do not order it. Let's call it as feature 2. Then third, row number over, I don't partition but I order. And the fourth,
Nothing.
I neither do I partition nor do I order. Look at this.
1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2.
For feature 1, where we have both partitioned and ordered, so within, let's say, this class TT, it finds the row number, right? In feature 2, where we have partitioned the data by class but not ordered. So it takes the original order and it assigns it. Is it making sense?
No.
And the 3, where we have ordered the data in ascending order, so it is taking the entire class. Got it? And in the 4th also, since the data is already ordered, so it's giving the same result as feature 3, where we have done nothing, neither partition nor order.
Pratik, can we just move over the partitions parentheses and compare the order by and without order by F3 and F4 only?
So then there is no role of class, right? In that case, Gunjan.
Right.
So here, what is happening is, in the original table, since here we have ordered the data by full name, isn't it, Gunjan?
Yes.
So it is taking that order. You understand, Gunjan, what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And in the next one, where we are doing nothing, but in the previous one we had ordered here. Hence, in the next one, it's taking that same order. There's no partitioning, there's no nothing overriding it.
Though it is ordering, since we have already ordered by clause as put
Because
down.
we have already ordered.
Right.
Agar if I remove this also, then of course it's going to give the same result, but then it will be like how it was originally.
Entered into the record, right?
Gunjan.
Okay.
So order by do changes the outcome as well, output as well.
Of course it does.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right.
See, if I let's say remove this, I mean the most common type is this one. The reason why you want to use window function is because you want to find the partitions, and within each partition you want to find some kind of ordering, and then you want to compute something. So step number 1 partitions the data. Step number 2 orders the data within each partition. Step number 3 applies the row number in each partition after ordering. Gunjan.
Right, Pratik, right. And one more thing, if we put down the later on order by clause after the from table, so
No,
what will be the sequence of execution, or would that be an error? It won't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can give multiple partitions.
But
the
with
way,
different functions.
yeah, but different functions. Okay, but you have used the same function, right? Right before this example. F2, F3, F. You have written the code, right?
F2.
You have given the. You have written that you have deleted that, but you have given multiple partition in the same query for the same data.
Multiple partition by using multiple functions.
But the function is only row number over here, right?
But
function is same.
Row number we use multiple times, no?
Oh, okay. The more partition we want to do, the number of this row number will appear.
Absolutely.
And Pratik,
Okay.
what if we want to add the rank thing also in the, the one where you made the table? If you want to do that as well too, how will you
Let's do that. Let's do that. So let's say this. Let's call this as serial number, and let's find the rank in each class, right? So we'll use a function called as dense rank over partition the data by class. But would we order it by full name, or would we order it by something else?
Order it by mtest number?
Mtest in which order?
Descending.
Descending. Let's call it as D rank. You see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 within 1A. And let me show you the marks also so that we can make a little more sense of the data. So 100, 1, 98, 2, 95 this, 90, 89 this. Now if two people had scored the same score, for example, in 1C that happens. So then that dense rank will be same. Does it make sense?
Yep.
And the next person's dense rank will be, so dense rank gives you continuous rank. Continuous rank. If you notice, the next person's rank is 2, but you may debate. Ankita may say that, what if, I mean, you know, Baba and Rupa are two best person. The next person's rank should be 3rd, right? How can it be 2? Do you understand? So dense rank, this function gives you nth highest score, nth highest value, right? But if you want a typical rank as the rank that we normally use when we talk of ranks, whereby what happens is, let's say there is Pratik, let's say there is Amit, let's say there is Saurabh, and let's say there is Ramesh. And let's say these are their scores. Their dense rank will be what? 1,
1, 1, 2, 3.
1, 1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3.
3. But their rank will be 1, 1. And what
3,
about
4.
this guy?
3, 4.
3 and 4. Because these two people have taken the best 2 ranks already. So the next person's rank will then be 3. This is our normal rank, which we call it as a non-continuous rank. This we call it as continuous rank, which helps you find the nth highest score or nth highest value in a set. This is a non-continuous rank, which is actually the normal rank that we use. Is it making sense? A little bit of statistics gyan there, guys. So we also have a function called as rank over. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, this is the same within 1A. But look at 1C. 1C, these two people have gotten 98. So their dense rank will be 1. Their rank will also be 1. The next person has gotten 81 in the same class. Their dense rank is 2, second highest, but their rank is 3rd. Is it making sense?
Yes, Pratik.
Okay, one question for you guys. Okay, one question. Can you guys do this question? List all the second rank holders in each class based on their math test score. What is the first thing that I want you to do here is, the first thing that I want you to do is that find the rank for each class, for everybody. Then we will discuss, or maybe you will tell me, how can you just show those people whose rank is 2? Maybe you can use something called as common table expressions. Let's first find the rank for each student in each class. Let's do it.
Pratik, please show the syntax above.
There we go. In the chat window, the syntax is given.
So, had an announcement to make. So, the people who haven't given their VB assessments or haven't scored well in the last assessment will have to reappear for the same after the session ends. It's a 1 hour assessment. The question paper has been uploaded on the LMS as well as Vinay has the same. So, they'll have to work on it for from 3 to 4.
Did they know about it?
I guess they knew about it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, Ankita. Good job. If you look at this question,
Thank you.
first step would be step number 1. From students rank over partition by what column, guys?
Class.
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 Order by
M test.
Test.
descending. So that gives us rank, right? And this is the rank within each class. So if then the class changes, the rank also resets. You can see this. Then from this output, that means from this table, we want to find only those students whose rank is second in their respective class. So we are going to use the common table expression here. That means I'm going to use the output of this query as an input to my other query as, let's say, temp table, right? Or maybe as, let's say, rank table. And then here, if I do select star, it gives me everybody's same data. And then if I say where RNK is equals to 2. Do you see this, guys? So 1A second rank, 1B second rank, 1T second rank. Interesting. Does it make sense, everybody?
So I missed that temp table thing. Otherwise, it was completely okay with me.
And if you let's say if you don't write this, you'll get this error.
Must have its own alias.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the error I was getting.
So as whatever table you want to assign. Is it making sense?
Yes, Prateek.
Clear, guys? Give me just 1 second, guys. All right. So what I want you guys to do is, I'm going to give you the few scripts to work and practice using window functions, guys. And I'm also going to give you the scripts, these scripts that we have discussed today. There are a few more window functions here, guys. So there are a lot of window functions, but there are functions that we use very often, and then there are functions like in Excel, you have so many thousands of functions, but we do not end up using all the functions very often. So these 3 functions I have seen, we use pretty often. Some of the other functions we do not end up using very, very often. Okay, but I'll still give you a list of all the functions, all the window functions. You can give it a think of applications for them as well. But yeah, so that can also be a interesting thing to do. And since we have a weekend coming in, guys, so this time I'm going to give you a few questions to work upon, guys. Yeah, few cases as well to work upon. So please do try to practice on those things. Yeah, because that would be a good point to give you practice, and so that we can have some discussion in the next class. Okay, concepts like joining, grouping, ordering, some window functions, some bit of text functions as well. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we just have 2 classes remaining for guys, for SQL guys. So, feel free to ask me as many questions as you can. Already?
Okay, Pratik.
Yes,
Thank
Pratik.
you.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? No?
No questions, Pratik. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you next class.
Thank you. Bye.
So,
Thank you,
Pratik,
everyone.
when we are going to have a SQL final assessment?
Chanchal, do you know the schedule for final assessment for SQL?
No, sir, I'm not aware
Okay.
of it.
We'll
Eklavya must know.
let you know. We'll let you know in the next class, but most likely it'll be somewhere in the next week only.
And it will be a quiz type that we have been doing.
It'll be a case type, Fazal, whereby we would ask you to work on a case, but to answer that case, I mean, answer collection can be, kind of a MCQ based, Fazal.
Okay.
Did you understand what I just said?
So we will be answering on the quiz, but sharing the script with you. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. See you guys in the next class then. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.